It's called The Ship That Wouldn't Die. The USS Neosho narrowly escaped the bombing of Pearl Harbor before it went on to meet its fate at the Battle of Coral Sea. As part of our Salute to Veterans series, Ben Hoover shows us on board that ship the entire time, a Spartanburg County native. 7 News exclusive story of survival and loss.
There he is. What a good-looking man.
Yes, he was.
The man in the photos Aline Bagwell holds on to from her Roebuck home is Seaman Harold Bagwell. Her husband may be gone now, but memories of how they first met on a train are still vivid.
When I got on there wasn't but 2 seats available. One by a good-looking sailor and the other one by an old man. So I picked the sailor.
You picked the sailor.
and that's how we met.
Miss Aline certainly made an impression. The next day, she received a letter, and many more in the years to come. She saved every single one.
I didn't know, my darling, that every day that passed would find me even more in love and happier than the last. Yours with love, Harold. That's sweet.
Sweet words from a man who would see some of the most harrowing events of World War II while on board the USS Neosho.
No, they went through a lot. People don't even think about now.
A man who still thinks about it is Harold's son, Randy Bagwell. He heard the stories from his dad, but not until late in his life when he got sick and started to open up about his time at sea.
But a lot of the guys were severely burned, being an oil tanker and explosions and all. It was bad.
Many of the stories were written about in the book The Ship That Wouldn't Die, like how Bagwell was a machinist on the Neosho when the oil tanker escaped the bombing at Pearl Harbor. Bagwell was unloading on the morning of December 7th.
That's when they said, if these guys don't watch out, someone's going to get hurt, thinking it was the Air Corps just clowning around. And that's when they saw the Japanese. They got back on. They had to cut it loose to get it away from the dock. He said when the Arizona blew, he was already down in the bowels of the ship.
The Neosho got out of Pearl Harbor that day, but months later, Bagwell and the Neosho crew, along with the USS Sims, would sustain heavy bombing by the Japanese in the Battle of the Coral Sea.
Of the 2 ships, about 600 people, crew of both ships, you had only about 125 survived.
Bagwell was one of the 125 who survived after days on rafts and parts of the ship that remained above water.
When you pull somebody out of the water that's been burned and the skin pulls off in your hands, the sailor that had his face burned thought the sun was bright, but yet it was nighttime because he was burnt so bad. Those were the things he would talk about, and I would sit and listen.
Despite surviving those 2 major events of the war, Bagwell would go on to serve other tours in World War II before returning to the States, marrying Aline, and raising 3 children in Roebuck. Living a good life, but one filled with survivor's guilt.
He said, and here I got to live a full life, and they didn't.
People do not realize the suffering that happened.
But through telling his story, Randy and his mother hope others will pause to remember the sacrifices so many made, like Harold.
You then try to understand what they went through, not for a year, but for years and decades. And it's just astonishing that they did so good and so well. After the war, you get to live the fruits of what they have sowed for you. And it's hard to understand how people can forget that.
In Roebuck, Ben Hoover, 7 News.
Making Bagwell's story even more remarkable, one of the things that helped him survive the Coral Sea, he just so happened to be holding the money of a man who was trying to quit gambling, a man who was rowing one of the life rafts.